Back in the garage this week, so we have got some fixing to do. Gillespie was a bit hard on the car. We've had the back bumper is actually surprisingly well held together, but the wraps held it together. So there's a bit of fiberglassing to do. You can see this was on the front of that front bumper, the lip, side skirts. Yeah, the tyres at Gillespie are just retarded. It's just so much damage they cause. For saving a bit of grass. Stupid! The other thing, it broke as well. I think a tyre got kicked up and wiped out my pump. So I couldn't drive any of the next day. So that's keeping blowing, what do you call it, fuses. So I've got another one in there. That's 200 quid, thanks Gillespie. And I also bought this though. Look at this quite sexy thing. So I need to mount this in here. Better way of mounting it than the rubbish mount that they come with. They come with this thing like this and it's just terrible. So this will make it way more secure. So I'm going to put that in and let's show you the other massive problem that there was. But got kind of fixed, well, bent back to shape. So this is the beating, the big beating the car took at the weekend. So as this has happened in the battles against Jamie Lundy, and he just transitioned a wee bit too aggressively and just came right through the back of the car. Now, that bar there, this bar here, you can see, put that light here, hold that so I've got two hands. This bar had moved all the way into here. You see it'd gone in underneath here and was up about there. So then I moved that in 10 inches. This whole chassis leg had been crushed. And kind of you can see just in there. Oh, it doesn't look good in there, does it? So yeah, this was up against the tyre. I don't think there's been any damage any further forward. I think actually suspension wise, I think it's fine. I've had a quick look over it. I can't see any marks, but you know, this has kind of done its job and collapsed, but it was a hard hit. You can also see like this was in, this is bent as well. This did its job. I built something that did its job. It protected my radiator, which is good. And then also this side, this whole side, this had moved over. So, I don't know, moved over about that much. An inch or two. So yeah, but Miles and his dad, Miles and Colin, Moyer managed to help us straighten it out. Me and Neil, we got the van and managed to pull it out straight. Well, pull it out a bit, but then they had the porta power thing that they managed to put in, and they did lots of magic with hitting things with hammers that I would never have been able to do in like a really short period of time. Kind of put it back to like pretty damn close to what it was. So I need to hit it a bit with a bit more hammers and kind of just piece it back together. But yeah, that was a little bit of a, I wasn't best happy about that, but it's good, shit happens, it's drifting. I got my bad luck out of the way, and actually it just needs cut out and redone. But not now, that'll happen on the off season. So we've got a couple of things to do. Fix that properly, get rid of that old mount, put that nice new thing in, and a bunch of other stuff, some underglow. I'm going to put some windscreen washers in because I got a chance it's going to be wet, I reckon, so it'd be nice to be able to clean the windscreen. Got some lights in the lights, and yeah, probably loads of other little bits. So let's get started. The joys of Nissan. So, captive nut inside the subframe, spinning, so I'm going to add in that new one. I'm just going to tack it in there. I've had to do the same on the other side before, and that's worked fine. So instead of trying to cut, like you can see the sort of just in, well maybe you can't, but just in there there's like a nut, but it's spinning in there and the threads in it aren't good, and to get all that out is a proper mission. So if I just weld that onto the top, that will work mint. My uncle gets the drift work stuff, and I've just been trying to play about with it to get more angle out of it. So what I've done is I've removed the bump stops, but that is, I'm finding it, if I go on a mega lock, I was at the weekend there, I was finding that it was jamming a wee bit. So watch this, I'll turn the wheel. So with it like that, what I was kind of finding is I think it was just sort of jamming. And I think it's because I've gone to, and the angle that I've got on between here and here is not ideal. So I'm putting the bump stops back in, but I'm modifying them. So that's the original one, that's what it looks like. And pushes out quite a bit, so you definitely don't get as much angle. Now I'm just adjusting them. So I have done it so that I can slide it up a wee bit, and then I've also notched them so I get as much angle as possible but still kind of retain having some sort of bump stop. So I'll show you how it looks. There we go, installed. So you can see where I need to bring it, have that sort of L shape in it, because I want this to slide up that way a wee bit. But you know, it's not taking, I mean look at that, it's not miles of extra, but I think it's enough to just stop it jamming. So I can like slide it out a wee bit more if I want, but yeah, definitely want that back in, just because jammed on lock sucks. Here we go, patched in. I've also put 3.5 in instead of the 3.7 I had in for Teeside. I think that's going to work better. Well, I hope it works better. I'm in the process of doing some upgrades to the battery, the way it's held down. Now they updated the regulations at BDC, so your battery's held in. It was after that Arumas Fiscalis rollover at Driftland. Q.
Oh, jeez, I would not want to be in that situation. I wouldn't wish that on any driver. That's a scary situation, Mike. It really is.
That is an unbelievably scary situation. As you say, the strict scrutineering that all of these cars go through
is the exact reason why, like,
exactly.
Just the door, I think the door actually was kicked off or came off, but he was out straight away. So, like, I'm just glad Armis is okay. You know, he's a very good driver, and I knew he'd be pushing hard behind Dwayne. He had to. He knew himself, like, he's the fastest driver on the grid ahead of him.
That his battery, like, even though it was secured by as the regulations go, I think the battery came loose. So now what they're doing is they're asking you to bolt it to the body of the car. So I'll show you what I've got. Now my box was already bolted in, so I have like some basically some bolts coming out through that were welded to the car, and they come through here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this, what do you call it? Bit of metal here, this bit of metal. The battery will sit in there, and then I'm going to be able to ratchet strap the thing down with these little small ones. There's still plenty good enough to hold the battery. And then that means it's going to be really securely mounted to the car. That's it in. Oh, it's mega strong. That ain't going nowhere. And now, yes, I know I used bits of wood, but don't judge, do judge, I don't give a shit. Right, those bits of wood are in there is because they're the right thickness, so they mean that those nuts don't stand proud. So I've got a flat surface for the battery to sit on. So they'll go in, and then dump the battery in. Ta-da! Right, I'd order a new strap. This one had these hooks on it, and I had planned to put them down the sides, but anyway, it was getting too tight, so I had to buy a new one that's just got a strap all the way around and no hooks. So here we go. That ain't going anywhere. Ugh. Look what I've installed. Oh, let's turn it on, see if it works. Yeah, am I ever going to run lean again? No, because I'm going to know how much fuel's in the tank. Now I'm going to do a proper video with just like that and install that. There's not many online that show you how to install one of those using the normal sender, or they're not like that great. None of mine will probably be that great, but it might be better than the ones that are online. So yeah, anyway, I know how much fuel's in it now. Little quick mod. As you can hear, rain. I think it might be wet this weekend at Teeside, so this will be splash guard in there. So I don't end up sucking in rakes of water.